For 50 years, Ron Howard seemed perfect. The friendly American boy from a small TV town who became a Hollywood star. But in his newest interview, he told the truth about the dark secrets behind his smile. The heartbreaking choice he made in 1991 that still bothers him today. The family member he almost lost to drugs while he was winning awards. And the moment on set when his body stopped working. Ron's honest words about what really happened during those missing months will make you sad. Ronald William Howard was born on March 1st, 1954 in Duncan, Oklahoma. And from the moment he opened his eyes, the room already spoke in movie talk. His father, Rance Howard, had changed his last name to Howard for acting back in 1948 before joining the Air Force. His mother, Jean Spiegel, learned how to be an actress and married Rance in 1949 in Winchester, Kentucky. When Ron came along, Rance was still in his military uniform, doing both military life and acting dreams. But even before Ron learned to talk, he was already in movies. At just 18 months old, he was in his first movie, a Western called Frontier Woman. It was filmed between late 1955 and early 1956. That movie set wasn't just his first job. It was the start of a life where being a kid and being on camera mixed together. While other little kids learned to walk, Ron was learning where to stand under the bright lights. As television shows moved to the West Coast, the Howards packed up and left Oklahoma behind. Rance drove the family straight to California, not for the nice weather, but to be close to the action. He wasn't chasing fame. He was risking everything on being near the new home of TV shows. Ron was just a tiny kid, but that move put him next to producers, writers, and movie sets before he ever went to school. He was already working on a show called Playhouse 90 before starting first grade. And by the time his brother Clint was born on April 20th, 1959 in Burbank, the family's plan was working. Their money was handled by the family. No studio bosses, no strangers, just a father carefully balancing his own acting jobs with being the one-man helper for his son. Rance took more than 140 movie jobs and 177 TV show appearances, not to chase fame, but to stay close to Ron's world and keep things going. Then came October 3rd, 1960. Ron was 6. That night, America met Opie Taylor for the first time on the Andy Griffith Show. On the credits, Ron was just another child actor listed as Ronnie Howard. But the bond was different. On set, something deeper happened. Rance didn't just drop his son off. He argued with the writers. After an early practice reading, he told the show makers that the show's father-son scenes felt fake. Andy Griffith listened. They shook hands on something real. Andy and Opie's relationship would copy Ron and Rance's. That handshake built the show's heart. Over the years, Rance even appeared on the show 5 times, staying close while Ron handled scripts and schedules that most grown-ups would break under. For 8 seasons through 1968, Ron didn't just grow up. He lived inside a television childhood shaped by love, work, and adult expectations dressed up in small-town stories. Their home in Burbank wasn't some fancy star house. Ron went to Robert Louis Stevenson Elementary, then David Starr Jordan Junior High, and later John Burroughs High School. The family ate meatloaf and fish sticks and saved money like actors who knew it could all end tomorrow. Scripts were piled near the dinner table, but Rance and Jean kept rules. No hired babysitters, no crazy stage parent behavior. Ron played neighborhood sports when he wasn't memorizing lines. Clint joined the acting business, too, quietly building a career with over 200 acting jobs. They were brothers, but also workers together, learning early what it meant to work a job with cameras. Ron's way of working didn't come from child star talent. It came from training. Rance taught him how to listen, how to pause, how to respond like a real person, not a faker. When Ron got the role of Opie, it was because he didn't act like a kid actor. He just acted. Producer Sheldon Leonard noticed right away. He said Ron didn't try to be cute. He just told the truth. That's what Rance drilled into him. Be truthful, not cute. Even at 6, it showed. Ron's early pay was in the low hundreds of dollars per episode, but it went up as the show became a hit. He was still losing baby teeth when fans stopped him in Burbank asking for his signature. But while his face was on TV, his childhood was quietly disappearing. One of the most unforgettable moments came in 1963 Season 4, Episode 1, Opie, the Birdman. 9-year-old Ron filmed a scene where Opie raises orphan baby birds after accidentally killing their mother. There were no acting tricks. He just stood there breathing, blinking, letting real feelings lead. Director Bob Sweeney barely needed extra takes. Andy Griffith called it grown-up level timing. Ron used replacement thinking. If the scene needed sadness, he thought of something that actually hurt. Then he let it go when the camera stopped. That wasn't just talent. It was control most kids never have. But even with love on set, Ron felt alone. He called those years a golden cage. Safe but closed in. On set, he had a tiny classroom near stage 40. California law said 3 hours of school, 8 hours total per day. A welfare worker stayed nearby, but Ron didn't have real classmates. He did math while workers rolled equipment. At lunch, he sat with his dad or the props guy. Andy would play guitar. Don Knotts told clean jokes. They tried to make it feel normal. But Ron missed playing baseball in empty lots and riding bikes with neighborhood kids. He didn't complain, but he felt it. In 1962, the Music Man brought a new kind of pressure. He was 8 years old and cast as Winthrop Peru in a big-budget musical. He couldn't sing in tune. He couldn't dance. Music conductor Ray Hindorff spent hours coaching him through the song Gary, Indiana. Ron panicked during the tap dance routine and whispered to Shirley Jones, "I can't do it, Shirley. I can't do it." She helped him calm down. The crew filmed him from a knees up and added tap sounds later, but it worked. His shy, sweet performance helped make the film one of the biggest hits of 1962. What no one saw was how hard he'd fought behind the scenes. Between takes, Ron memorized not just his lines, but Shirley Jones's too. He played with dolls and acted out full scenes, directing miniature actors through their spots and lines. To others, it looked like play. To Shirley, it looked like a director in the making. By 1966, Ron tried something new. He joined the Monroes, a Western series filmed in the Wyoming Rocky Mountains. It was rough, real land. He learned horseback riding by watching ranch workers. The location was expensive. The series only lasted 26 episodes before NBC canceled it in 1967. Ron was 13. For the first time, he felt rejected. The Andy Griffith Show was still going strong, but the Monroes hit him hard. He thought it was his fault. That hurt stayed with him. In 1968, the Brady Bunch pilot came calling. Ron was offered a chance to try out. He turned it down, not because he didn't want it, but because his parents said no. Rance and Jean made a rule. Either of them had to be home every day between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. If a job came in, they wanted balance. They wanted him to grow up normal. Ron wanted that, too. At 14, he craved school, space, friends. He passed on the tryout, and it might have saved his career because by 1974 he became Richie Cunningham on Happy Days, the role that carried him into his teen years and gave him the money and freedom to step behind the camera. In 1974, Ron Howard was just 19 years old when he walked into Gary Marshall's office. He didn't read the lines like the others. He just sat down and ordered a cherry drink like he'd been going there every day. The chemistry with Henry Winkler was instant. ABC had doubts, but Gary Marshall pushed back, and Ron signed a 5-year deal for $7,500 per episode. He had beaten out 35 other actors. By season 5 in 1977, Ron had been playing the same cheerful teenager for so long it started to feel fake. He was 23, playing a kid frozen in time while the real world was burning outside. Vietnam War was everywhere on the news. So Ron wrote a 3-page note to ABC. He asked for real topics. He suggested a story about Richie facing the military draft. They said no. Too political. Ron felt trapped. He didn't just want to act. He wanted control. He wanted to direct. Then in October 1977, Ron got his chance. He directed season 5, episode 5, A Date with Fonzie. The budget was thin, just $10,000. 32 scenes. 3 days. He showed up with a shot list so detailed the crew called it Spielberg level. One scene